Dirt roads to rock crawling, two-buck chuck to screaming eagle, moonshine to 50-year-old single malt. We talk about it all here on Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey with your hosts, Jason and Chris.
Welcome to the Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey Podcast, episode 349. Niner. Chris, I can reach out and touch you. You're right there.
Fist bump.
Fist pump. There we go. Blow it up.
Oh,
right.
Yes. We are in the mobile studio, Studio Lance, Studio L, whatever we want to call it, here in Area 5 at Hollister Hills after another successful safety clinic put on by our off-road club, Esprit de 4.
Look at that. Man, here we are. Another year.
Smooth like honey.
37 years I've been teaching this class now.
Holy moly, you're an old guy.
I am. Getting old. I am old. I feel old. I'm tired right now.
Turd.
But we're gonna, we're together. We got to meet. I got a little whiskey in my glass. Where is your glass? I don't see any whiskey over in your way.
I'm taking a little break right now.
Okay.
I'll ramp up a little later.
Okay, they're working on getting the campfire going here shortly. It was a little windy earlier, and it's starting to die down finally. So, yeah. Well, let's get into it. I've been down here for a few days.
You have.
I got down here Wednesday. I'd take that back. Well, I was down in Gilroy, like just down the road from Hollister, Wednesday night, visited a cousin, and then I rolled in early, 7 a.m. on Thursday morning, which was nice. Ole was already here.
Of course he was.
And I got set up because CJ and he came in about 7:30. We had Sierra Nevada Off-Road Academy class. Yep, our class title on Thursday was how to be a trail lead.
Oh, fucking awesome.
So it's something I didn't, we came up with, and it was by request earlier this year, and it was like, hey, could you, I'm not confident with trail leader. How do you put a run together and stuff? And so CJ and I are like, yeah, we can do that.
Sure.
And so it's actually, there's a lot of things, a lot of logistics, right, that we talk about and planning. And it's the old adage, a failure to plan is a plan sure to fail.
Absolutely.
Right?
Live it and live it every day at work.
A Toyota driven is sure to fail. Toyota suck. Okay, good. I got that in. So
Perfect.
I do have a story to hopefully I remember here shortly. But anyways, we did that, and then yesterday was a recovery class.
Yeah, I missed it because I was driving down yesterday.
That's right. Yeah, you were supposed to be here Thursday, and you had a little issue. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Sure, why not?
Okay, why not? Life sucks.
When it's my turn,
let's hear how life. Anyway, okay, you want more on the so the recovery class was great. So we talked about static pulls, and then doing kinetic straps, ropes that we use, and watching the rope stretch and doing how to properly do that. And then a lot of people don't realize that kinetic ropes, you get about 3 good pulls, and then they need to relax.
Absolutely.
They need to relax.
They need to take a break.
And if you keep pulling, the rope is not designed for that, and it becomes a static line at that point.
That's
and we saw one break a few months ago. So anyways, it's cool. And then we did some crazy winching. This was the most. We used 3 pulleys on this complex winching a Rivian up the stair steps. And, they're like 8,000 pounds. Plus you got the slope. Plus you're going up the stairs and overcoming rocks. And Kelly had his 8,000 pound, his 8274 winch just grinding away.
Oh, those are great, though. Old reliable.
Yeah. So you couldn't do a straight pull. We doubled the line. That didn't work, so then we had to triple it up, and it was cool. And we had a winch extension in there, and we a lot of physics and fun stuff that played into that. So that was cool. That was the end of the day, but it's fun. Everybody walks away with the I always ask them at the end of the day what their aha moment was, and it's fun to hear what they learned and what their takeaways were. And education's good. And again, we don't profess to know everything. We just got a lot of experience and sharing that, and we share ideas and techniques, and work it all out.
Let me ask a question if I can. So you had Rivians. You were recovering a Rivian, or he was a demo. He wasn't actually broken down, right?
Wasn't actually broken down, no.
Okay.
We put it in neutral, so it was dead weight pulling up the hill.
10.4. So is there a way for those to have a winch mounted on these electric vehicles, or
So they don't make. Nobody makes a winch mount bumper per se like you would normally get on a vehicle or a truck or something for the Rivians. The other issue with the Rivian is they don't have a really good 12-volt source.
Yeah, it's a high voltage.
There's
a 12-volt battery.
They got a shit ton of electricity, but they don't have the 12-volt source. There is a 12-volt source on there, but it's weak. It's a minor little battery. So somebody will figure it out. Some kind of...
So an 800-volt winch?
Yeah, you got to go, an 800-volt winch or 1.2 gigawatt winch or something, or some kind of crazy step-down deal. So, anyways, yeah. But still, like we say, you're along on the trail, and if you don't have a winch and you're stuck and somebody comes up with a winch, just because somebody has a winch doesn't mean they know how to use it.
Precisely.
And so, that's the thing that we, underscore is like, hey, this is your vehicle, and it's good to know all these different techniques because somebody comes up with a winch and they're like, hey, I'll pull you. Well, you know how to set up the proper rigging and mitigate risk and, what's going to work better. And there's no perfect way there's so many different off-road recovery scenarios, right?
Right.
And I've done a lot of stuff that's worked in the past, but it wasn't the quote-unquote textbook proper method, and it wasn't the safest.
Well, when you're in the field, it's you got to kind of pivot and think on your feet because, yeah, the real world situations are not, as you said, a textbook or a classroom or a demonstration site that's fixed and
right
established. You need to. The variables are infinite, really.
It is, and there's several ways to skin that cat, and do.
Hey, Chris, if I had a clapped out Toyota and wanted to go snow wheeling, how would I do that?
Well, you got to go with tracks because that's the only way a Toyota's going to make it out there.
Right, with the low, low lows.
From clapped out Toyotas to overducked Jeeps, there's one solution for a bolt-on over snow vehicle conversion. That's Ruby Tracks. Made in Canada, the ultimate source. Get yours now, rubytracks.com.
Okay, so, there could be 5 right ways to recover that vehicle, but it's just knowing, okay, yeah, this is a possibility, and I saw this, and yeah, this will work here, and whatever. It's a, collaboration, but at the end of the day, the owner of the vehicle that's, being recovered, the vehicle that's doing the recovery and stuff, they got to preserve their... not rip bumpers off and stuff like happened to somebody before.
Well, you think about the new era of a lot of these EVs. We just mentioned a Rivian that was part of the demonstration, but there's tons of. They're heavy, and you've got
8,000 pounds.
And then the Hummer, the Hummer EV thing, those weigh like 9,000 pounds.
I want to see one of those. I've seen them driving down the road, but I've never got to walk around one.
Oh, one was turning in over at DeRose. We'll talk about that a little bit ago.
Okay.
It almost ran me down because I didn't hear the damn thing.
Oh, shit. It wasn't making its little spaceship sound?
I think it was getting ready to switch over to it.
Oh, okay.
Because he had just come off of the road.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, those are the factors that play in. And, of course... Jeeps are relatively light. Toyotas are even lighter because they're made of shit. But the things that then you get into the big trucks, the full size trucks and stuff. Those are porky, heavy things too. Sure. And there are people that wheel those things.
Yeah.
So
there was one wheeling in the class today, that full size Chevy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it's good. So before I forget. So we did those classes Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning. So we're recording this on Saturday evening. Saturday morning, this morning, we, CJ and I are in the class, and Kelly and Charles. And so the old slide, we keep it in there because it's history for the club. And, I remember doing this presentation on an actual slide deck.
Oh,
Slides.
slide projector.
Slide projector.
Ka-chink, ka-chink,
Exactly.
ka-chink.
So years ago, we converted it over to a PowerPoint presentation, and then it's evolved from there and gotten a lot better. But we keep a couple of the old slides in there for history's sake. And there's that one old slide, you've seen it 100 times, of the blue FJ Toyota, old FJ40, coming up and straddling a rut, and there's a guy hanging off the back that looks like J. Lore.
Oh, yeah.
That
I've seen
looks like
that.
he,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then there's a guy that's guiding that kind of has his hand to the right, and with his thumbs up, it looks like he's hitchhiking. So, and so CJ goes, "Hey, what's wrong with this photo?"
Everything.
Well, so it's great. The very first time anybody said it, I did not prompt them. I had my mouth shut. They go, "Oh, it's a Toyota." Because it said Toyota right on the front. I go, "Oh my God, that's great!" So
That's awesome.
We had a really good class today, and that comment just reiterated that they know what they're talking about. But anyways, yeah, they pointed out all the, hey, that guy's in the line of fire. This guy's not guiding well. Blah blah blah. Anyways, good stuff. So
Cool.
what was your experience like for the clinic today?
Well, I haven't really had a real assignment in a while, but I'm here in support, and I'm a floater to kind of help out without getting into a bunch of detail about things in my life. But I brought my son Craig down this trip. It was a big help getting everything packed and loaded. And let's backtrack a little bit to the whole packing and getting out of town.
Getting out of town. You were supposed to be here Thursday.
I was supposed to be here Thursday, and I was at work all day Thursday, and I left promptly at 2 p.m. for my drive home. And in my head, I've got a checklist at home and in my head that I need to go through to make sure I don't forget anything.
Sure.
So then I'm kind of organizing my thoughts for logistics in my head to see, okay, I need to do this first and then that, get the trailer backed up, whatever. I mean, there's
Order of operations.
Order of operations.
Yeah.
So I'm pulling into my neighborhood. It's about an hour-long drive, so it's roughly 3 o'clock. And I'm pulling into my neighborhood, and there's just water in the gutters, just gushing like a major rainstorm gushing. I'm like, what the hell? So I pull in to make my turn into my court. Try to make the turn into my court, and there's water everywhere. A water main had ruptured underground. Right then on Thursday.
You had old faithful in your court.
Exactly. So I'm like, and then all of a sudden, all this heavy equipment rolls in. You got the water company with their. I tell you, it was a learning experience seeing how they do a mainline repair, and then they did it twice. But we'll get into that again. So, they had big trucks. When they rolled in, one of the vehicles, the contractor's vehicles, rolled in towing a porta potty. And when I saw that, I was just like, oh boy.
They're planning on staying a while.
This is going to be a bit. So, anyway, they went at it with a jackhammer, which those are loud and no joke, broke up the asphalt. And then I'm like, okay, so the excavator or backhoe is going to roll in and dig this thing out. Nope, they don't do that anymore. Apparently they use a suction truck, a vacuum truck.
Big vacuum truck.
So they got a high pressure hose. They shoot water. They make a slurry.
Yeah.
And the vacuum truck sucks the hole out. And you had like a 8 foot deep hole that was clean and ready for the workers to jump in there and do their thing. And this is an old iron pipe.
How deep was it?
Yeah, about 8 feet, 7, 8.
Shit.
Oh yeah, it was legit. I'm like, well, you're down there, bro.
8 feet. Wow.
So, but there was an old cast iron pipe that was just on its last legs, which means that the rest of the system's on its last legs in my neighborhood. My house was built in 1960, so that gives you an indication. Anyway, they had to turn the water off to the neighborhood to, work on this thing and fix it. And they turned the water back on about 8:30 that night. And I'm thinking, okay, cool. But it's at this point, I'm just gassed. I'm gonna call it and say, there's something else happened to work that I had to run into work on Friday morning. It was another factor.
I was getting a bunch of angry texts from you.
Oh yeah, I was aggro. But so I went to bed at 8:30, and I'm like, nodding off, and it's the water's on, so I'm happy, and I can hear the toilet gurgling, and I'm flushing it to purge the air out of the lines. And
you're good.
And I woke up in the middle of the night a little later to the sound of a jackhammer. I'm like, what's going on here?
That was your hangover.
It was. I didn't really register. I mean, I heard it, and I thought I was hallucinating. So I went right back to sleep, and then I woke up at 3. My alarm went off at 3:30, whatever.
Jeez.
Drove in for my meeting, and when I walked out, there was nobody in the court except our cars, and the pavement was still wet. And I'm like, Jesus, that's weird. Anyway, I get to work, and I'm texting with my wife about something, and she's like, I said, boy, I noticed that they had paved it was already paved and everything. It's like they'd done. She's like, yeah, they did it twice. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, well, the first repair didn't hold. So that right after I went to bed, apparently it popped again. And they had to suck out the hole again. And
Oh my gosh.
so they were there until like 2 a.m.
Oh.
And so, yeah, but obviously that's just the sidebar. I mean, it was exciting, and I got to see, and these guys, I work with a lot of piping, underground piping in my chosen profession, but to see, to have another aspect of having to blow through pavement or concrete or asphalt, that's a whole nother level. So, but yeah, and then so I went to work, did my quick little meeting that I felt was wasting my time.
Most meetings are.
But then I left there at about 11:15, got home on Friday, and then my son met me there, and we got the trailer lined up, we got the Jeep loaded, threw all the necessary stuff in the camper and our clothes and food, and hit the road, Toad. So
Wow.
got here about 3:30.
Yeah, you did. You made good time.
Traffic was unfriendly. I mean, for that early in the afternoon, but it's Friday. A lot of people only work a half a day. So, getting through San Jose and then of course Gilroy and Morgan Hill was slow going. It was kind of a slog.
Yeah.
But got here, got leveled, and then got bent.
There you go. I like it. Yeah. No, it was good. I glad you made it down. You brought the Jeep.
Yep.
So it's cool. Went out today, so I taught the class, and then I was free the rest of the day, which was great because I used to teach in the morning, and then I'd jam back, grab some lunch at camp, and then I'd be out the rest of the afternoon until 4 or 5 o'clock.
Right, as we all are. Yeah,
I did that for years, and so I pulled the senior member card and said, hey. About 3 years ago, I told Andrew, I go, hey, I'm going to be there. I'm going to help, but I either teach and then nothing in the afternoon, or don't teach and then, I do something in the afternoon. I said, I'll be there to help, but I can't double dip. It's a long day.
Yeah, because the rest of the members, we kind of, while you guys are in the classroom, we're just kind of hanging out, getting caught up with each other. Or in my case, my son and I jumped in the Jeep and drove, went up and played in the park. And, know that we went up to the old O course and played in the frame twister and the stair step. And, I kind of threw it out there that the stair step exit was a little gnarly, but Craig, he's an adult and hasn't really wheeled too much, so I kind of put him in the driver's seat for most of the day. Right. Which was a good. He had a lot of fun. I think he had a good time. Yeah. So I mean, I was his right seat, and we did. He let him run the frame twister. I took video, but I suck at that. So. Basically, mostly it's my shoes because I'm telling him to what I'm spotting for him, and it was funny because I'm like you get into the obstacle and you want to go to take an angle to the left side, and I'm like telling him, okay, you want to put the driver tire on that rock, and he's doing exactly what I told him to do, and I'm like, oh shit, I meant passenger tire.
Oh. Driver, passenger.
But anyway, the Jeep is so forgiving, it just crawled through anyway. Sure. It didn't matter. But I mean, that obstacle, unless it's pretty simple right now, but when it's full of mud or water and it's all dug out, it gets pretty crazy. But it was, my Jeep is very forgiving and pretty damn capable, I think. So then we went up the stair step, and he didn't drive the stair step, but I did, and I cheated. I used my lockers, and I used my rear locker, not the front. I should have, because I wanted to test to make sure the front locker still worked before I adopted the trail. So, but I can say that there was an intermittent weird sound that we were hearing. So that was in the morning. Well, in the morning we heard something. Then we came back to Area 5 to meet up with the students and you guys as the classroom broke up, and had lunch and hung out and got caught up. And then I was assigned to Blue Group as a floater, just to kind of help out. And I said, okay, I'll run the blue trail and I'll go to the O course and help out as necessary. But As we're driving the trail, we were like tail. We were like a shadow at the very, very back.
Yeah.
And Craig, I was driving for a while, and then we pulled over, and I said, "You drive the rest of the way." And he had a good time doing it. But
Cool.
we were hearing an intermittent sound, and I got to diagnose what's going on. I'm not quite sure. I think it's a U-joint in my rear drive line. Is now that I've thought about it. So. When I get back to home and get in the garage, I'll crawl into there and start shaking stuff and see what's going on.
See if anything
get
there's a little play.
Get it freshened up for Adopt a Trail.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, which is like a month away.
I know.
Yeah, I went out. I came back, ate lunch, and then I went out with the Jeep and went over to the obstacle course. And I'm glad I did because the first group that was taking on the stair step needed a little assistance, so we got them going up, and it's great. It's a difficult obstacle and very intimidating if you have zero off-road or very little off-road experience. It's steep. It's got these, it's concrete with
slippery
rocks embedded in it. Yeah, and these steps that are created out of concrete. Rounded.
It's designed to mess with different wheelbases.
Well, yeah, and it's designed for like a Jeep crawling it up. All four tires are climbing at the same time. A step in the front and a step in the back. But it's slippery because there's a bunch of dirt on it and stuff. So anyways, it's intimidating. And so people were kind of, a couple people were freaking out and like, I don't know if I want to try it. I'm like, just, we're here to help you. If you don't want to do it, that's fine, but give it a shot, And so then they do it, and then they're all excited. And,
oh, yeah.
And then I always tell them, I said, hey, you got the hardest obstacle out of the way for the day. The rest of the day is going to be a piece of cake,
Yeah.
Benefit of doing the obstacle course first and the frame twister and that. But anyways, that was cool. I did a little rock garden in the Jeep right there, the little Rubicon.
Yeah.
And Jeep's running good. I got a couple of little laundry list things I want to address, but it's working good. Last 3 days I've been driving around, drove it out on the street. We took a little trip this afternoon to DeRose Winery.
Yes, sir. One of our favorite places to be.
Yeah, you, Craig, and I drove up there, and just, again, we've talked about it before here, but it's just a great winery.
Absolutely.
We're getting awesome bottles of wine from 100-year-old plus vines for, I'm a wine club member, so you get it for $24 a bottle.
Yep.
And, I mean, that's a screaming deal for the quality of this wine. And all, like you said it today, you're like, they don't make bad wine. I mean,
No.
you like there's a ton of different varietals. And then Alphonse, the winemaker, he has a place in Argentina, so he goes back to Argentina and makes he does make Malbec and stuff over there, and then they import stuff that he has relationships with people from Italy, Chile, Argentina, obviously when he's there. There was some stuff from Spain.
Yeah, I was going to say Spain.
So
España.
I mean it's crazy huge winery. It's one of the bigger buildings, wineries under.
I think it's the largest.
There was a designation there, largest
single building largest winery under a roof or something.
Yeah. Anyways,
you can Google it.
Google it. But always good, and they got a nice outdoor area, tables, umbrellas, and you're right by the vineyard there, and they bring the wine carafes out to you, these little mini carafes that they fill up. So you taste at your leisure. You're not sitting there like, taste one and then okay, and taste one, okay. And then if there's a bunch of people, you're like, waiting forever to get a taste again. So they got a really nice format there. So if you're ever out in the, I call this the beginning of Central California, Hollister, and Cienega Road. There's other wineries, Calera, there's Eden Rift, all right in this area. And but DeRose is definitely a must check out stop. And tell them Jason and Chris sent you from Wheeling Wine and Whiskey.
You can't find better wine for the value. I mean, it's a great place, and like I said, the weather on this trip, other than a little bit breezy. this afternoon in Area 5 has been pretty damn nice. I mean, a little chilly in the morning, but, it's just been a great day, great weekend.
Yeah. It was hot Thursday afternoon, but then we got the little ocean, breeze off the bay that comes over the Santa Cruz Mountains to here. And, and then this afternoon it's cooled off and we got the wind, but it'll die down here and it's fine. They got the fire going.
Fire's going. All
There we
right.
go. I see that. So it's what?
Nothing.
Oh, so yes, that was a clinic success. We had 54 students today.
Woo.
What was interesting in the past, I'm going to say 3-4 years, we've had a handful of electric vehicles.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
had Cybertrucks. We've had the Rivians, 4xe. Today we had one 4xe and no other electric vehicles.
Well, there's a recall or something on those
There
things.
is a recall on those.
It-
Yeah, I
it's
guess
like they burst
burning
into. They tell owners not to park them in the
Yeah,
garage.
don't park in your garage. So that's a nice, comforting fact.
They burst into flames
Yeah.
or something.
So, yeah.
So speaking of Rivian,
Yeah.
you had a little adventure in one of the student Rivians.
Oh, gosh.
You want to talk about
So
that?
I've had a lot of. I've gotten intimately familiar with Rivian as CJ has one and is the president of the Rivian Club in the Bay Area Rivian Club, and we've done some Rivian dedicated classes for
Right.
Off-Road Academy, and they're kind of a mind fuck, They're just
It's like a rolling computer.
it is, and CJ calls it the black box, but it's cool because things can, a software update, and you got all these different drive modes, for sand and all-terrain mode and snow mode, and so it's just how the vehicle is applying power to which motor, and there's quads that each wheel has a motor. There's dual motors, so there's a motor in the front, motor in the rear. There's a tri-motor. These things are complex, but it's cool because they can do a lot of cool things.
Oh yeah.
And you can raise the ride height and lower the ride height. Yeah. Anyways, so this one, I'm going to butcher the edition. I don't know. It was purple. It was the Orbit edition or something like that.
People are screaming. Well, I don't know how many people that have Rivians listen
But
to
it
the
was
show, but
it was a quad, and it had all the bells and whistles. Okay,
it was pretty cool.
pretty cool. And so it had a kick turn feature,
Oh yeah.
the kick turn feature, and do a kick flip. So we're like, okay, so he's like, hell yeah, it burns up tires. But he's like, I'm getting new tires anyways. Let's go do it. So after our class yesterday, we go up to the flat area in the dirt, and let's see. So there was the driver there. Who else was in there? CJ was in there up
Rich.
front. Kelly and Rich and I in the back.
Right.
So we had 5 people inside this thing.
I called it the clown car.
Yeah, you and Craig pulled up in the Jeep to watch us.
Uh-huh.
And, you stop and put on the screen, kickflip, enable, swipe. You sure you want to do a kickflip? Yes. You really sure you want to do a kickflip? Yes. Okay. Kick turn, I should say. And so then he I don't even think he turned the wheel or anything. He just immediately hit the gas. And this thing pivoted like the center. You take the center of that Rivian truck and it pivoted around it.
So a 360 degree turn. Basically.
360 degree tank turn,
Yeah.
right? I call it a tank turn. But you took video. I took some video of the second time he did it when I was outside of the vehicle. And it is. So, like, one side the tires are going forward, and on the other side the tires are going backwards.
Yeah, which is completely weird.
It is very weird.
Unnatural,
to see in a truck.
Yeah.
In a tank or a Bobcat, yeah, that makes sense. But this, nope. So it does a kickflip, and then the kick turn, and then he did the other one. He sets it to that mode, and then you drive, and then turn, and then it spun that corner too,
Yeah.
and that was interesting. Anyways, cool technology. fun stuff. But you definitely want to do it on a loose traction surface.
Yeah, dirt or sand.
Dirt, sand. Wet pavement maybe would be cool, but with traction, man, you would smoke tires off this thing.
Yeah, you got to think, man. The designers, engineers, or whatever owners that had quads, like, you know what I'd really like to be able to do? I'd like to be able to pivot 360 degrees while not moving in here, just in case I need to turn around really goddamn fast.
Yeah.
And there's an engineer that's like, yeah, we can do that.
We could do that. And that's really, illustrates how cool those all-electric vehicles are, where they can control each motor, can control all these features that mechanically we would have to change stuff to do,
Oh, yeah, we could.
They can't. But, the drawback, and they're working on it, it's like there's no locker,
Right.
And there's the concept and the electric portion that kind of acts like a locker, but it's gotten way better from when I first saw them 4 years ago and off-roading, but they're not 100%. So there's, just like any vehicle, pros and cons. A lot of weight low with the battery pack down there. It's an 8,000 pound vehicle, but it's got, you could side hill the F out of these things because it's low center of gravity. A lot of cool features. And so anyways, that was kind of fun to be in it and then to be out of it and watch it turn. So
yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, that was cool. And that is the neat thing about the clinic, is we get a wide range of vehicles.
Yeah.
And you usually, some of the latest and greatest rigs are taking the class. So
yeah, we had Lexi.
Yeah, Lexi.
Toyota Land Cruisers, the latest generation. We had a lot of Tacomas, Jeeps, of course.
Broncos.
There were Broncos, a lot of Broncos. But one thing of note, all the listeners know I have a YJ, a 95 YJ. There was a group with 3 YJs in it. So there were a total of, I believe, 5 YJs. So one of our club members has a YJ. I'm not sure what year hers is. Mine is the 95, and then there were 3 students with YJs. So during
named Barbie and Ken.
You're right. They were actually pretty sweet. I went up and Craig and I walked up and checked them out. One of the YJs had a Dana 44 like I have in the back, but still had the Dana 30, so it was pretty similar build. One big difference for his rig was he had spring over. I'm spring under.
Oh yeah.
And then the other one was looking at it, and it had a 4-liter engine like I have, but it was also spring over. But it looked like he had a 4 9-inch in it.
Oh wow!
But still a Dana 30 in the front, which again was pretty weird.
Yeah.
Why would you bulletproof the rear? I'm the same way. I just ran out of money and time.
Oh sure.
But and then the third YJ that was in that group was pretty stock. It didn't have a very large lift, probably 32s or 33s maximum. I think it was a 4-cylinder, and it had a stock drivetrain, Dana 35, Dana 30.
Okay.
But it was kind of an interesting thing that there's some classic iron still being bought and wheeled.
Did you guys do the secret YJ handshake?
I didn't see the owners.
No.
So no, the answer is no.
Okay, no.
But it was cool. A lot of people. It looks like they all had fun. Obviously at the end of the clinic, everybody gets together and has some refreshments, and then dinner's served, and people hang out, have a great
Man Smith's barbecue,
right.
little
Man
tri-tip
Smith's.
chicken, beans, salad, and garlic bread that's just soaked in butter.
Ooh,
Yeah,
so good.
that goes down real easy.
So good. So good.
Yeah, they do a great job. So yeah, it's fun, and this class, I've been doing this for quite a few years. This was one of the class was like. The vibe this morning was like super high electric.
Oh, good.
And usually it's kind of like people are super nervous and, it's quiet and you got to, some of the classes, it's like, is anybody having questions? And then it's crickets, And here people were just raising their hand. I got a question. And I'm like, oh my God, they were engaged. They were asking questions. We had a couple wannabe hecklers in the front row that were funny. And so we were having fun with them right before class started. And I'm like, all right. So I kept... hey, watch that front row. But it was good. It was really good. And it's always exciting to see, at the end of the day and even halfway through the day, or just like I talked about the stair steps, they complete an obstacle and they're like, I did not know my vehicle could do that. I didn't know I could do that, So they walk away today with the, holy crap, that is possible. It wasn't that scary. I'd like to do that again.
Let the modifications begin.
Yeah, and that's what I told them, and and then that's was the impetus for CJ and I starting the class, because it's like, you get fired up about it. I want to know more about recovery. I want to know more about harder four wheeling, and we don't offer that. We offer a basic 101 class, esprit de four, the club, because that's what we do, and we do it well, and it's a shit ton of volunteers, and it's a process. But CJ and I, you want to do something more detailed, or you got an idea, you want to get a couple of buddies together, we tailor classes to what you want to learn. So it's been nice to answer that
Cool.
call. Yeah, so what else? Did that. Yep. I don't know. I got a little Jack Daniel's toasted barrel. It's the end of the bottle.
Oh boy.
But it is delicious. It's got a little rock that's melting in there that's very delicious. I see you got the big Woodfords out over there. And then what was that one that I tried earlier? That Alley 6?
Alley 6 rye.
Okay. And she was a spicy one.
That's good.
It's good. It is good. It's unapologetic. That first sip, I was like, whoo! But
Yeah.
it had it kind of reminded me of Scotch. It had that like Scotch peaty finish.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was talking to one of our other members over here that's a big Scotch drinker, so I'm gonna have to go. He's got a couple bottles tonight. He says I got to try, so we'll give a little sampler on that.
Perfect.
Yeah, you're all packed up. I'm all packed up.
Wheels up in the morning.
Yeah, wheels up in the morning. Get out of here. Getting down the road. I got some errands to run and some stuff to help Mom out with, and then I head back to the great state of Nevada.
There you go.
And looking forward to that.
What do you think of the fuel prices down here? In the Bay
I don't
Area?
know. I saw them, and I'm like, I brought 20 gallons of extra diesel with me that I pumped into the truck today. So I'm damn near a full tank again.
Good.
So last 3 times I've been to California, I haven't had to buy any California fuel. So
No road taxes being paid by you.
Nope. They don't use them to
Hold on,
repair roads anyways.
Let me
so
text. If you look,
text Gavin Newsom. Send him my pin.
if you drive down 101 south of San Jose,
Send him this picture.
you know they aren't paying for the road repairs. 101 sucks, and then of course Cienega Road, man. Oof,
Anyways,
terrible. So
yeah, and there was a guy that took our class, Off-Road Academy class, Thursday and Friday. He goes, he's from Oregon.
oh yeah,
He goes, holy hell, your roads suck down here. And I said, yeah. I said, it's like off-roading when you're on roads, on highways.
Yeah, they're
And it
bad.
makes towing real exciting,
yes it does. It's like,
Jesus.
man, is my trailer still attached?
Oh,
I mean,
my
I have
God.
a rear view camera, and after I go through like a washboard on the freeway, I always look at the camera or the monitor. I'm like, she's still there.
Yeah. What else was I going to say? Oh, so, I talked about on the last podcast our off-road adventure last weekend.
Oh yeah,
Mayhem in May. The YouTube video came out. So if you go to Crawl Family, they have a YouTube channel. So that's Alan, president of RTF. His boys, and they did a good little edit. It was actually fun to watch.
I'll have to check it out. I'll find it and I'll put a link in the show notes.
Yeah, and it's like 12, 15 minutes, not crazy long, but it's pretty good. So there's that. Yeah, and man, we do have a correction. I almost forgot. I'm
boy.
glad I looked at my notes. Okay, so the race last weekend at Prairie City. We announced Megan Miller as third, and she did get third. But Mr. Jones, Ultra 4 Jones, texted me and goes, "Oh man, she had an accident or like a concussion, so she couldn't race the main race."
Oh no.
So there wasn't a large car turnout. You know,
right.
But anyways, I had no idea. So he goes, "Yeah, it felt a little weird to hear you say that she got third when she was, had a little accident there." And I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry, I didn't know." So,
Well, we're just reading off the
well, that was it.
results.
And I told him, I said we're ready, but it did say on there, did not start DNS.
Oh, I didn't see that.
So you didn't see that, and I didn't look at it. So, but anyways, that's the correction. I have been messaging Megan, and we will get her and I'm sure Derek back on, her husband, and get some updates, because they've been to LS Fest. Get their I'm sure they got some stories from King of the Hammers to tell. This recent race, and so definitely we need to go to their property. They got a pretty cool property, I understand.
We'll have to make it
So,
happen.
you need to make your way up my way, and we'll do a couple podcasts. And we got that bourbon to taste. I thought about it, bringing it this trip, and I totally forgot when I walked out of the house. But that just
all right.
means you got to come visit. So, yeah, that's what I got. Looks like we got quite a few people around the campfire.
We're sliding into the evening. Let's go get a re-ring going.
You get a re-ring, and I see a lot of red over there. Our club sweatshirts and shirts are red. It's one of the few times I wear red
Right.
throughout the year. So, I think that's all I got on my list.
Cool. That's all I got. I got nothing else.
Cool. Well, they know how to get a hold of us. Hit up the IG and email and the phone number, which is 408-800-5169. Hey,
Good job.
Look at that. That's the Jack Daniels working right there. That's memory
It's
juice.
408-800-5169. Yeehaw. Lorenzo's eagerly waiting for your phone call.
Standing by. All right, Chris, with that,
We're out.